Treasury Secretary Paulson and Fed Chairman Bernanke faced tough questioning on the bailout from the House Finance Committee last week. Some of the toughest questioning coming from Congressman Brad Sherman of California, one of the bailout's biggest opponents. Congressman Sherman joins us now from Capitol Hill. Congressman, good to have you with us. What is the basis of your opposition to this bill? I mean, we've heard from the Democratic leadership it's just boffo. We've heard from the White House that it's just boffo. What's the problem?
I'd like to see a bill that I could support. This bill has three major problems. The first is that Paulson gets the $700 billion, goes up to Wall Street, and gets to hand it out to whomever he wants for whatever toxic assets they choose to sell, without any control. Now, the White House will agree that he will be subject to a control board, but made up exclusively of Bush cronies. They'll be the only ones that can tell him to stop. There'll also be a review board, but that one just issues press releases. It can't stop anything. The second problem is the current bill, they're saying we're going to limit him to only $200 or $300 billion. The fact is he gets all $700 billion. We could pass a resolution to stop the second 350, but he can veto that resolution, so it would take 2/3 of both houses.
So the Treasury Secretary gets a veto over the United States Congress.
No, the president gets the veto. I don't know. I don't really draw a distinction between. My view is, Hank Paulson is George Bush, without the hair.
Well,
I'm not. I mean, Hank knows more about the financial services industry, but they are part of the same administration, and they're going to try to achieve the same values.
Well, at this point, it looks like after some rather optimistic statements by Democrats and Republicans on Capitol Hill and the White House earlier today, it looks like this negotiation is far from near any kind of successful resolution.
Well, Bush could have had a bill on his desk today if he had agreed to some controls on his power and agreed to real controls on executive compensation for the bailed out firms.
Well, they've been very, there's no sense of what the heck they mean when they say controls on executive compensation. Were we going to do, as Senator John McCain suggested, limit that CO's salary to $400,000 or what?
Well, they're deliberately hiding the ball. The only executive compensation that Bush will tolerate are limits on certain types of esoteric bonus formulas, but he draws the line at the $1 million a month salary. In other words, if an executive is staying with the firm and he's getting paid $1 million a month, maybe they want to give him a raise to $1.5 million a month, his position is we can't stop that. And as long as he takes that position, he's probably not going to get a bill passed.
Well, Congressman Sherman, let me just say to you, if the President of the United States arrogantly and willfully would say such a thing and would demand such a thing, if there is anyone who supports that bailout, the American people will revolt. I mean, who are these people? Who is Henry Paulson? Who is your leadership, Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid, that they would accommodate this kind of nonsense?
They're reacting to the big fear machine that is saying the markets will drop, the sky will fall.
Is anybody afraid of the culture of excess and greed and absolute indifference to the welfare of this nation, the national interest that's been created on Wall Street and in corporate America? Is anybody afraid of that culture?
They're more afraid of voters getting mad if the market drops tomorrow. And now Wall Street there will be a few on Wall Street who will realize that the way to scare Congress again is to make sure the market drops precipitously tomorrow, and then they can say, look, we noticed that the deal isn't going through quickly, and look what happens to the market. You guys have to go in on Saturday and pass the deal the way we want it. And we have to stand up to that and recognize that if we're going to do a bill, it's got to be a bill with adequate controls.
Brad Sherman, thank you very much for being here. Congressman Sherman, appreciate it.